Let's see. Hopefully this has changed now. I believe it is, so we should be live here now. So, I mean, obviously we don't get a lot of viewers in here, but we're going to be kind of just going through some stuff. If anyone watches the VOD or anything like that, welcome in and everything like that. We're going to be doing some stuff today that I'm pretty excited about. We're going to be talking about Perfect Team in OTP 25 and a little bit of low gold, I think. But that will be pretty short. Our main thing that we're going to be doing is debuting a new franchise mode. So for anyone who's seen any of my streams, we did start a franchise mode, which I do plan on probably continuing. We started one with the Arizona Diamondbacks that we call Desert Heat. We started streaming it, and one of our games, or our first game, we streamed it live. We were 7-7 in extra innings, 2 men on. We decided to bunt, and then the game crashed. So all that was pretty much for nothing. It was pretty hard, but I kind of want to set up some more background stuff on that. Maybe just some like recent news, sort of slides and everything, and we can kind of go through that. But I had the idea the other day that I was going to do something a little bit different. So that's what we're going to do. So for now, we'll hold on. I don't think I actually have a lot of Perfect Team stuff to do right now. We have a few teams in Perfect Team. I'm currently paying attention to 4. We run about 8. So what we do have is we have a main team, which is just my AW13, and that's where we do everything. We buy cards off the shop and everything. We have a lot of missions completed, but I've kind of moved away from my league team and started just focusing. I'll just go back to it. So I started focusing on tournament play. There's not a lot of time left in the cycle, and I find it fun playing tournaments. And what we're doing really now is playing gold tournaments. So for a welcome in Max, Otto Hess forever. I mean, I've been using him from time to time, and he helped me win a bronze dead ball. So I can't be too angry um, or hateful towards Otto Hess. I somehow beat Extophorus and Andy Andy G Sheffield in a bronze dead ball in the last 2 rounds. And Hess is one of our starters over there because he is one of the pitchers that provides an offensive war or a positive offensive war. There's only a few of them. Harry McIntyre, Ray Caldwell, and Otto Hess, I believe, are the only ones that fit in that tournament that do have that. So yeah, I mean, I have Caldwell and Hess together. It feels just right. um, but yeah, so pretty much, I mean, I go in the perfect team. We've pretty much given up on league play, and it's hard because we've made perfect team twice, but we're not going to win it. I mean, at this point, we're not even able to complete missions or anything like that. So we completed some missions, which were the Hannes Wagner and Bob Gibson missions, and we used them for a little bit. And last season, my team was 87-75. We made the Diamond League playoffs 3 seasons in a row, but as a wild card team. No, we actually won the division last year, I believe. But we were not a great team. But we've had a solid team. We won the Diamond level, what, 5 seasons ago. Yeah, McIntyre. McIntyre is probably my favorite. Well, okay, Caldwell obviously is my favorite, but for the bronze dead ball tournament, McIntyre has better shape, and he has the BABIP gap and eye combination that you really like for that sort of era. So yeah, McIntyre's been my favorite guy. I'm on the packs only. If I was playing bronze on something else, I would. Um, him or Harang and PTSCS. Yeah. I think I suggested to Laptop to use Harry McIntyre. I don't know if he did in the PTCS. If not, I think he got knocked out in the first round, so I can just say that's why he did. But yeah, I really like the McIntyre, and he fits exactly what that era is. 1939, maybe a little bit less, because when you're looking at Daily Deadball or whatever on the winning team, there you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. West Hartford. That's every time I see them in a tournament and I beat them, I'm just like, oh man, I've arrived. Just there's some managers in there that you just kind of. That's how I felt in the Bronze Deadball when I beat Exto and Andy G. That was kind of like a okay, I can kind of play bronze at least, or get lucky enough to do it. But I think I still have the stream up, right? Yeah. I think okay, we won't I'll look at it a little bit. But I think we did pretty well in bronze rankings. As you can see, our league team in Diamond is not good. It was not going good even before we decided to sell off some cards. But I sold off. I mean, I purged this team. Pretty much any cards that I finished that weren't in more missions coming up, I combinated players with them. So I went through my big list of combinators, most of my gold ones, and I just went down and I took the diamond cards, I took some perfect cards, and I just used them in combinators because they were locked and I couldn't do anything with them. I wasn't going to use them. So I just used them in combinators. Um, yeah, I watched you at the end there, Max, in the PTCS. That was that was an impressive run. I gotta say, how's the who was the second place? Um, I can't remember right now, but how's that guy doing for you? Um, Bogs. Yeah. Are you using them or do you sell them? My guess is you sold them and got some bronze or silver players, maybe like some combinators. So yeah, I mean, I have a ton of gold combinators now. I've gotten into the combinator game. I mean, it's been really fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it has been really fun. Haranguing a couple other guys, yeah, that's what I would do too. I mean, especially at this point. I mean, I'm not gonna win perfect league. Um, I don't know what level you're at right now, but I mean, at this point, tournaments probably your main focus as well, and that's kind of where I'm at. Um, Kind of back to that sort of idea is I'm just kind of using my team to fund my combinator teams in gold. I mostly play low gold and the gold all star hardware. So we've been playing that. We won the all star hardware the other day, which was pretty awesome. Unfortunately, that one's a 5 historical diamond pack one, so not the greatest because I feel like most of those cards are just like barely above minimum at best, and yeah. But we won a perfect draft the other day and got um, a high diamond choice pack. We won the historical primetime, sold that for 70K, and then we put in some card orders on some combinators. These are the ones I'm looking for right now. Um, these ones are just kind of if someone really sees it and they're just like, I need to get rid of this, or they don't even realize. Yeah, who knows? But the Tettleton and McDonald, the Tettletons for the All Star Hardware, which is the All Star and the Hardware Heroes cards in gold. I don't remember the catchers we're using right now. I think Johnny Bench is a Hardware Hero. I think we're using him. And then the Webster McDonald's a really good starting pitcher. And then for our low gold, we're going after the Derek Lowe. Low gold's my main focus right now. We have a full combinator team. It does use the chemistry in the tournaments and everything. So that's kind of like the main thing, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Even if, I mean, you run into my team's good enough now where I can beat the non-combinator teams pretty easily. But if I run into the combinator teams, it's usually 50-50. And welcome, Smiley Face. I see you gave me a shout out yesterday. I really appreciate it. Um, I see a couple shout outs from you over the last couple weeks, so I appreciate that. Let me give you a shout out here if I know how to do it. Um, isn't it just the shout out? And I'll give you one max as well. I don't know. Is this work? Did that work? I don't even. I don't even know. It's a quick action store. Is there a thing? That's where I raid. I assume that's how you shout out, right? Oh, that makes sense. I think. No, that didn't work. Let me go to trusty Google. Okay, so it looks like I can just do a full shout out. Like that. Boom. There we go. So there's a shout out given back. I appreciate the shout outs over the last couple weeks. Since you've been streaming, I haven't been able to stream as much. Well, I feel like I ramped it up a little bit, and we're gonna kind of do this, but unfortunately, we're able to stream around the time that like Ezra's on and everything, and um, kind of into franchise as well. So it's kind of like a hard little spot because I'm like, okay, I want to stream, but I don't want to like. I mean, I'm fine going at the same time as other people, but it's not like we're gonna get like viewers or anything, which is fine. But I just don't. I don't want to like step on any toes or anything like that. And I want to support the streamers and everything. So and yeah, you got the bronze Manny Ramirez for men. That's kind of crazy. He looks good. I don't know what his last 10 is going for. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's the hope is I mean they told me to apply again in March or something like that, so I'll probably go next month or end of next month and try to, you know, be like, okay, it's almost March, so I'm just kind of applying and everything like that. So we'll try. But I kind of want to just get content out there. I upload most of my stuff to YouTube, um, which is just under, I believe, AW Gaming is my channel. Um, Ezra Denny, welcome. I appreciate the raid. Um, Definitely unexpected. Appreciate the follow. Ezra, Pernelius 2. Reached our follower goal of 50. We were just a couple away, so that's awesome. Um, raid some rando. Yeah, that is me. I am the rando. We are streaming here tonight. We're talking a little bit about Perfect Team, and then I'm gonna start my new sort of follow. Um, not my follow. I saw follows. Um, well, I'm glad that I was randomly playing OOTP at this time. My plan is to stream for a little bit, and then we're gonna raid over to Baffle 99. Um, it is his birthday stream going on. He's playing some college football. So my plan is around midnight my time, which is in about 45 minutes. It's probably to raid over. Thanks for the follow and welcome in Danny D. Smith Jr. My plan is to raid over to Baffle around that time, sort of as a happy birthday from the mountain time sort of idea. Um, but I wanted to get some things started here. If you are in here and you have any of these cards and you want to sell them, obviously probably not one of these, but I can kind of cancel an order or I can find the money for someone if we want to, talk some business on the Webster or the Tettleton Combinators or the Travis Hafner, which I don't think I'm ever going to get. Um, I mean, I don't want. I could put a buy order in for like 100K, but I don't want it just standing out there when I could maybe use it for something. Um, so at least once or twice per day. I'm probably underselling it. It's probably like 5 times a day. We come to the Combinator shop just to see what's going on, see if anybody will help me on my gold conquest of life. Um, Unfortunately, not a lot of people sell. Here's Robin Yount. We did pick him up today, which I was excited about. Franchise Time Machine refused to sell me his Combinator Robin Yount, so I was a little upset. Just okay. Hopefully that is working again. Um, so for anyone who's watched my stream, unfortunately, sometimes we do get cut off every, I don't even know. It hasn't gone off for, let's see. Yeah, it was 18 minutes ago. It was about an 8-second delay, and then it wasn't for like 30 minutes. So, but yeah, yeah. So that's sort of the thing is that I have satellite internet, and it goes down sometimes when it tries to find the new satellites. Um, oh, my heart. Franchise, you could have made. I paid 110,000 for the Robin Yount. I went or 105,000. I went over the last 10, which was at 91. It's now at 81. I don't know. I guess someone probably sold it for cheaper. I think there's a way to find out like the last ones, right? Or is there? I feel like there is. I don't know where to find it exactly. Oh, fully boosted. Yeah, the Yount is not too bad to combinate. I don't need to be in the car because there's what's his face. So yeah, I mean you have these decently priced ones that for a lot of points, between 6,000 and 8,000, and then you could maybe even put buy orders in. But yeah, Yount's not too bad. If I didn't have a bunch of points, I'd probably get him up more. The Silver Molitor, yep, I used a lot of Molitors on the first couple. Um, right here, there's only two now. There was a lot before, but yeah, we got the Yount to level 3 right now, and we're just kind of looking at, we really gutted this team. We have a couple of our gold combinators on this team now. We got rid of Gibson and Hannes Wagner, for about 300 something thousand, and that's how we got the points to buy Yount. We bought, where is he? No, he's not boosted fully. We bought the Len Barker combinator, um, to play in Gold Quicks and Late Gold. Um, we had the Gary Carter, which we bought a while ago. We bought the Musina combinator to use in the All Star Hardware tournament, and just random gold tournaments. And that's about it that we did today. We have a full combinator gold team and everything like that. So it's been really fun. Honestly, um, for a long time I was kind of anti combinator, but it's been fun to play around with and everything. And at this point in the cycle where there's only a couple months left, might as well, right? So, I mean, you can come to gold. My team does really well against like the non-combinator teams right now. So, I mean, that makes me feel a little bit good that I'm not like getting all these combinators not doing well. So yeah, we're in gold only right now, which is a non-combinator tournament. I I don't I don't know. We'll see. We're in the golden sombrero for tomorrow, and then we play these ones, religiously. The low gold only and the all star hardware. That's kind of where I'm building right now. We have the full low gold. We have a couple cards that we want to get, which is the Hafner and the Derek Lowe. If you have those, contact me. We can talk some prices. The gold all star hardware, there's no chemistry, so it's kind of just like having the good cards. I feel like we have some good cards. The Combinator makes them obviously better. We didn't have full Combinator team when we won it a couple days ago, so you don't need Combinators really in this Gold All Star hardware if you have the right cards. So if you are in Gold, I suggest that that would be a good one here. Yeah. Um, I actually was going to pull up the rankings to look where my bronze was. So that is a good one here. But yeah, gold rankings here. So Aster, probably the best gold player out there. at least one of them. I feel like I have more success against Aster than someone like Dr. Gonzo, and this is Backcountry, and Mark and MS. Um, but obviously, Aster had a very good week, finishing 6.76. New Barn, Atlantics, um, Hell's Kitchen, I haven't run into a lot of times. I see them all the time. Montreal, obviously, Experiment. Portland, I run into a lot. Um, the Sting, I run into a lot. It's a B matchup. And then the Murder Hornets, another kind of B sort of matchup. But Murder Hornets and Bs kind of, they don't get along together. Um, but yeah, so I was ranked 7th this week. And for those who don't know, is it not working? Oh, there it goes. I was 8th in week 43, 8th in week 42, 8th in week 41, 8th in week 40, and 8th in week 39. So, and then for the last PTCS rankings, I was, of course, 8th. So since we started playing gold, I had been 8th every single week. For those who know me, I used to play Diamond pretty religiously. I played Diamond for my first couple months, and then one month I decided to do all the tournaments, and I finished 129th in gold. I said I hate gold, and then kind of Minerva was making fun of me and I saying like and laughing and everything like that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play gold, and I'm going to. I said I'm going to make it my goal to finish above you, Minerva, in gold. And so that was my goal for this PTCS period. Minerva finished 21, which is obviously respectable. He didn't have the greatest, average finish at 34. He doesn't use combinators, so. Um, but for most of this, we didn't use combinators. Um, but now we do, and we got 7th. So the difference that combinators make is going from 8th to 7th. So that's my endorsement of combinators right there. Is you will go up one ranking in the weekly tournament, in the weekly rankings. So I've had a lot of ideas about the combinators recently too. Like it's really hard to say who's a good player in this game because of the combinators. Like everyone's like, oh, this person's a really good gold player, this person's a really good bronze player. But then they're a full combinator team. Like, are they good, or do they just have the right? Do they just buy the right? Do they just buy the combinator? Then it's a hard one because there's some players that obviously are good, and we finished 7th in bronze. There we go. This is my PAX only team. We don't have any combinators. We finished 7th in gold. We won the bronze dead ball. We played quite a bit of tournaments, so we don't. Obviously, we're not a great bronze player, but yeah, those live tournaments. I've actually started playing a lot of live tournaments with my speedrun team, since we kind of had to buy all those live cards for most of the missions, the live missions and the PT elite missions. Congrats on your early bronze win, Max. I was lucky to win. Where are we at? I forget which one it was. So I run a couple teams. My main team is where I play gold. My PAX only team is where I play bronze. I have a theme team right now that's a low diamond theme team, so we play diamond on that one. And then that's pretty much all we're doing tournament wise. We do some perfect drafts and live tournaments on my speedrun team, but I usually don't. I don't really do that much. Obviously we don't win a ton, but we were able to win the bronze dead ball, and we won. I thought we won something else. It might have been a while back. But yeah, I mean, obviously not great in bronze, but it's been fun, and yeah, I mean, is the early bronze the one without combinators, right? I can never get. I know gold only is non-combinator. Late gold is all combinator gold. So that's like the main gold tournament is the late gold one because you can use all combinators, any kind of gold. Low gold's full combinator, full chemistry. Um, All Star Hardware, you can use as many combinators as you want. There's no chemistry though. And obviously live gold. I think that's it for the gold ones. At 4 a.m. Pacific, so that would be what 5 a.m. for me. Yeah, those some of those tournaments are just not at good time. It's so hard to get into some of these, like the and some of them fill up so fast. I got in the live bronze here. We've won some live bronze tournaments, um, but I can never get into them unless I really pay attention. Usually the live bronze, I think, what's 16 hours from now? I don't even know. It usually kicks off around when I get off of work, and I'm not paying a lot of attention to um, OOTP because I kind of go straight from work into family time, and usually during work I can um, at least pay attention to some of OOTP, get into tournaments, things like that. It's a lot easier. So usually during the day I get into tournaments, check the card shop, and sort of that's I can do that during work and everything like that. So the main part of the stream here that I do want to get into, probably not going to spend a ton of time on this first night, but the plan is to keep it going. So we are starting a new game. We are starting back from the early years, 1871. Complete history, I don't think we need it. I don't think there will be any. But we are going to be playing a random debut mode. Um, I I always have a hard time with random debut mode because I'm someone that really likes realism and everything like that. So like I want to see players on their teams and everything like that. So it's hard, but I feel like it would be a fun one to stream, right? I can kind of pay more attention to it if I'm streaming it. I'll know where players are. I know what players I have. I'll be able to talk about them. So it's just kind of a fun little idea. And then I always love the random debut modes because I go back to 1871. It's obviously going to use like 1871 strategies and factors. So you're going to have like one starting pitcher and everything. So you could end up with, you know, just an example like Jamie Moyer in 1871. And they'll randomly debut at random ages and everything like that. So you can kind of just go through it and see what happens. So to start a random debut mode, obviously you need to go to a new historical game. And you can select what season. It doesn't really matter, other than the strategies you use and everything like that. The complete history, I don't think it will have anything. I don't think the game has any history prior to 1871. So I'm gonna leave it unchecked. And then obviously this is gonna start with an inaugural draft, which is a fun, kind of a fun thing. I don't know what it would do with a random debut. Um, if I started in like 1901, it might start me with like the actual teams or actual players in 1901, and then put the new random debuts into a draft pool. So we're gonna set this up random debut mode. Um, minimum and maximum years, no minimum, no maximum. So we're gonna have players from 1871 all the way through current. We're gonna be using talent ratings in the OTP development engine to kind of randomize everything. And you might see players become stars who are not stars, or see stars kind of fade into obscurity, or maybe the era that they're brought into is just kind of not built for them. So if you build, if you take, maybe someone like, I don't know, the first guy that comes to mind is just like Steven Strasberg, or his big power arm or something. And you throw him into 1871, is he going to be as effective? Who knows? He might not get injured as much because there's less injuries usually in that era. So you're going to see like a guy like Steven Strasberg be able to pitch his full career and see how that works out and everything. We're just going to kind of hold all this stuff at the default. Everything besides this, where we want to just kind of not have stuff based on their real stats. And no min, no max. We're not going to use scouting. A lot of these players, we're going to know if they're good or not. I don't want to deal with scouting budgets and everything like that. We're going to switch all these to 20 to 80, just personal preference. That's fine. But I do appreciate you guys being here. I was excited to get on to stream. I think I can use the shout out. I'll still get you your shout out, Max, but I need to shout out Ezra Denny for raiding into us. I do appreciate that. That's always a good thing, or good thing to do is to raid into someone. And I was lucky enough to be the OOTP streamer at the time, and I really appreciated it. So if you're not already, I'm sure everyone here is, but follow Ezra Denny, give him some love and everything like that. Unfortunately, Ezra Denny is someone that it's hard for me to get to the streams. I try to check in and just say hello a lot of the time, but it's usually either my time to stream or it's time where I'm like spending time with my wife and everything, and so it's like it's hard. And then she'll go to bed and I'll have time to go to like franchises stream and everything. It's just kind of hard, hard time wise, trying to figure that out and everything like that. If we can get in a position where we're maybe an affiliate, like an affiliate status, I'll probably have more of a set schedule because I want to be able to um, be in the slots where it's needed and everything like that. These should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard part too. Is I've found, I'm going back into the chat here. A lot of the gold ones I can't get into because a lot of them are at the same time. Low gold and all star hardware about 7:30, between 7 and 8 Mountain Time, and so those ones kick off around the same time, and then I get knocked out, and then what is it? The gold only and the gold cap, I believe, are later. The late gold is actually early gold. And so that one is also around the same time as the other ones. It's a little bit later, I believe, compared to the low gold and the All Star hardware. And that one fills up faster. The live gold is sort of in the afternoon. I believe around 2 or 3 Mountain Time. That one fills up super fast, and so it's like the ones that I play most, the ones that I want to assure that I get into are Low Gold and All Star Hardware. But those ones fill up um, slow. Like they fill up slow, but the other ones that I get into are kind of just like spaced evenly apart. Like late gold is a little bit after. And so if I want to get in late gold, I have to do it like right then. So we kind of have to figure out what other tournaments. I'm playing pretty much only gold, and that's the plan at least the rest of the cycle. And then probably going into OOTP 26, honestly, we'll probably stay gold and just kind of have that as a niche for a while. We didn't start off with gold. I hadn't played gold at all until the last month, the last PTCS cycle, and now we can claim to be now a top 7 player in gold. So it's been fun moving around the different categories that we're doing. Obviously, we won a PTCS in Diamond when I was playing that. That was probably the penultimate achievement that I will probably get at least in OTP 25. We made Perfect League, which we had no shot in Perfect League, but we made it twice, which is pretty cool. I don't know how many make it 32 or something like that. So that was cool. And now we made. I mean, I didn't make all 10, but we made 8 with one team. Before we started playing gold, we made 8 PTCS qualifications, which was my goal. I wanted 8. I traded open for weekly tournament. So that one was we made that we made that goal, and then the next goal was to play gold and finish above Minerva, which we did accomplish. And now I'm just kind of enjoying gold right now, and we're getting into the Combinator game, and so that's the new thing, and we'll see how OOTP 26 is, but the plan is to remain a gold player. We'll be doing some gold streams and everything like that, and whatever interests people about gold. I get into it a lot. Spike qualification, yeah, I finished 129th in gold for the previous PTCS before this last one, and someone was banned or something like that from the first top 20 128. So at first I was super sad about missing it by 1 rank, but someone got banned and I made it in as the 129th team. Unfortunately, we won I think 2 games against the top rated team, the Backcountry, as the 128th ranked team, and that sort of just kind of started it there. But Minerva was kind of giving me a hard time about finishing 129th, and so the AW gold, I mean the what is it, the periodic table, the element symbol for gold is AU, so AW, it kind of works, right? AW gold. So we'll continue playing gold. I think it's been a fun time. Back to this here, we kind of need to choose a team. And so I always have a trouble choosing the teams because a lot of these teams change names over the years. And some teams, I think they disappear and everything. The Mutuals, I believe, will end up turning out to be the San Francisco Giants in the long run. The Red Stockings, I don't know if they're the Red Sox. The Athletics, I believe, always will be the Athletics. Philadelphia, Kansas City, Oakland. I'm trying to remember. And then I always have a problem, like the Troy, Rockford, Fort Wayne. I don't know what they turn into. Washington, I'm not 100% sure. Cleveland, I'm actually not 100% sure. But the hard part is I'm from Massachusetts originally. And so like I like to choose like a Boston team to start off with, but I hate the Red Sox. So if they do become the Red Sox, it's going to be hard. But maybe I wouldn't hate the Red Sox here. So I'm going to take Boston just being a Massachusetts, a mass hole, as they say. um, so we'll start with them and make them better. We're not gonna. We'll hopefully get David Ortiz and everything. We'll go to game settings. I don't like to use the coaching system. Just personal preference as well. Ratings above max. I do like. I like to turn off delayed injuries. We'll keep it for now. I think this will go up over time. But back in that day, there weren't any injuries. Suspension's fine. And then I like to show the personality ratings on the profile page. And everything else we're going to keep default. Actually, no, I'll keep it default. Sometimes I like to turn down the spring training length because you don't have as big of rosters back then, and injuries kind of just ruin your season. So the less games, the better. There is a team that goes to Worcester. Um, the Worcester did have a major league team at some point in the early days. The Worcester Rubies, I believe they were called. Um, yeah. So yeah, there's teams. P Boom G. Appreciate the first time chat there. Welcome in. But yeah, there are a couple teams that do disappear. As you were saying, Cleveland folds in like 1 year. Olympics, as Max says, become defunct. I believe either Troy or Fort Wayne usually have that same sort of thing. But Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, I know carry on. So Boston's a safer team usually. While I'm at it here, I'm going to continue my shout outs. And as promised, give Max LP80 his. One of the first. What did I do? Oh, I put shout outs. But yeah, one of the teams will get relocated to Worcester at some point. I'm actually going to look that up. So it's the Worcester Ruby Legs. They played from 1880 to 1882. I'm trying to figure out. For anyone who knows some of these old time players, Lee Richmond was Worcester's best player. Had a perfect game at some point. I don't know if it was with Worcester. Harry Stovey, Buttercup Dickinson, Charlie Bennett, Pete Hodeling, Candy Nelson, Harry McCormick, Mike Dorgan. I don't think Dorgan has a card, but I think the other ones all do. So Worcester does have, like I said, I usually take the spring training down about 2 weeks to try and avoid injuries. They are extremely low, so I'm hoping they don't. What I also like to do here is change the award names. Just to kind of standardize those. And then the pitcher award name, we're actually going to just change to Best Pitcher Award because Cy Young doesn't exist yet, right? So we can't have a name, an award name. So I mean, if anyone has a better idea of a name for Best Pitcher Award, I feel like Best Pitcher Award isn't the greatest name for an award. But that's what I'll keep it as of now. But if anyone does have an idea um, on a good name for the best pitcher award, Ray Caldwell Award. See, that's another problem. Ray Caldwell does not technically exist yet. So I think like we would take, I don't know how many years of data we would want, but maybe a best pitcher of, we can change the name, right? We can find our Cy Young of the first 50 seasons or whatever it would be and just kind of go from there, right? So I think that's all we want to do. This should all be 1871, I hope. Um, this will. So yeah, this should be fine. Um, I believe these will all use 1871. It will do the auto calc of the modifiers when all those teams are chosen and everything. So we're going to get into our inaugural draft. I think this starts random. I usually just do it one more time, assign random draft order just to kind of give it my own random drafts. We ended up moving up a spot, which is nice, but it is serpentine, so we're going to actually move down a spot in the second round, which is not, who knows who's going to be available. I haven't looked at the draft pool at all. So we're going to be starting this draft, and let's see who we have. So, some very interesting names already. George Brett is in this draft, a 33-year-old George Brett. This is why I kind of love always going in and doing the random debuts, because you just have these, you never know who you're going to get. Like Ben Sheets, 23-year-old Ben Sheets. Now, you look at him, he's got the 80 potential control, but like what do these ratings mean in 1871? Like the stuff, it's probably not going to do too much, but it might, right? Um, Randy Rosarena, 23-year-old, and you have to like weigh the players' ages and everything. You can see big names, Sam Rice, um, really good contact hitter. Let's see how many hits he had. Almost 3,000 hits over his career. Um, but he's 39 years old, so he's probably going to fall later round. You're going to get a 39-year-old Sam Rice who's going to play 1 year in 1871, and so it's kind of fun. And who knows where it'll go. Now, Eddie Collins here. This guy is going to be the best. He's probably going to go number one. His defense is okay. At second base, um, I expect Eddie Cocky Collins, to go first because he's coming in at 21 years old. He's fully developed. Um, so Rockford is probably going to be getting him. Another guy you have to look at is Mickey Mantle. Like a 27-year-old Mickey Mantle. Probably not going to play center field for you. With a 60 range. Who knows in 1871? Void K shouldn't matter much, but he's got everything else. So that's an interesting one. It's hard to kind of just go through all these players. Derek Lowe, 24-year-old Derek Lowe. Steve Evans. Bronze fans probably know Steve Evans, at least the bronze dead ball. Really good right fielder. Um, Taffy Wright, I've seen that guy in Perfect Team before. Reggie Sanders. Um, yeah, Cincinnati most of his career, and then he kind of just bounced around. Arizona, he was part of that team. Reggie Sanders is a good player, but maybe not for this era. So yeah, we have a lot of choices here. My guess is Collins goes first, and then we're gonna have to decide what we want to do because I'm not sure. Albumbry's an interesting option. Because we have to think that these early eras, we're not going to see a lot of home runs and everything. So do we want a guy that can hit for high power? Probably not. Contact is probably going to be our best bet. I had a thing to show BABIP, so I'll just keep the BABIP on. All right, so we'll auto draft for Rockford, and of course they did choose Eddie Collins. Ooh, that is rough. The 100 Flaherty. I'm sorry that happened. I believe it's happened to me before where I've taken the 100 Andrew Miller. That was a pretty sad one compared to I think the 101 Andrew Miller, who's actually a pretty good closer. The 100 is a pretty bad card, similar to that 100 Flaherty. So we are on the clock now. The scouting director, who we don't technically have, recommends Mickey Mantle. That's kind of where I'm leaning to. Switch hitter, kills lefties, great against righties. Actually has an interesting split because he's better BABIP against lefties, better gap against lefties, but he has better eye against righties. He's a left fielder, maybe a right fielder, maybe even a center fielder in this era, but I like to have some defense. I don't even know who Homer Summa is. Does anyone know Homer Summa? He actually looks pretty good for a short career that he had. So if Sporer wants to make a Homer Summa card, I know a guy. Ooh. Yeah. That 100 Maddox is not good, but that 104 Maddox is very, very good. If we want to go pitcher, here's the interesting thing with pitchers too, is like there's one. Like you only need, I think, one pitcher in this round. I think we'll get two just in case because there's a lot of players. Usually more than the first draft pool, I think. There's 40 rounds, which I think the first, if you start a normal 1871 game, it's about 13 or 14 rounds. So that's interesting. You have some big names here, but they're older. Napoli, Donaldson, Ken Williams, who was that St. Louis. It's a 319 career hitter, 57.9 WAR. He's coming in at 33. He's gonna be a guy that falls down. Chick Hafey. So it's just kind of, if we sort by BABIP, Matt Macri. I mean, look. I mean, this is an interesting one here because it will. This guy, Matt Macri, I don't know who he is. Smiley face. Jane might know who Matt Macri is. Played in 2008. 18 games, starting 9 of them. But he hit 324, and so he's got a high BABIP rating. Not a lot else, but I mean, this is a guy that could be one of those random dudes that ends up doing really well in this era. And that's kind of a fun thing. Bumbry, I'm between Bumbry and Mickey Mantle right now. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of these, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could look it up. Like how much $190 or $160 in 1871 compares to today. I'm going to look that up because I'm too interested to know. We're just going to say $200 in 1871 worth today. So, I mean, $200 in 1871 is worth let's see, that's was it $2013? So it's about $5,172.02. So it's not like we're making these guys are getting that much. But at least according to www.in2013dollars.com, inflation 1871, $200 in 1871 is worth $5,172.02 today. Today's prices are 25.86 times as high as average prices since 1871. A dollar today only buys 3.867 of what it could buy back then. So there's your inflation math of the day. Your inflation OOTP math of the day. Who's this? Dick Higham is a good one, but not a good defender anywhere. But he's a guy I think that shows up in 1871 draft, right? Yeah. Dave Drew? I don't know him. 1884 makes sense. I don't know him. Just to keep this moving along here, I'm between two players right now. And that's Mickey Mantle at age 27, and Al Bunbury at age 24. Now Bunbury, better defender, kind of has more of, a slap hitter sort of. Maybe not slap hitter because usually I would say your BABIP is not super high as a slap hitter. Yeah, the OOTP Steam sale is on, and you can get it for 1 halfpenny. You will have to travel by horse and buggy to pick it up and roll dice and pick cards by hand, but 1 halfpenny will get you that action. There's Rosarena, who's 23. He actually looks pretty good for this now. But I want the big name on my team, right? I want Mickey Mantle. He's gonna play left or right field. I don't feel bad about that decision. I think the eye will still work here. The BABIP's really good. The gap's good enough. The power, it could get to 80, but he's 27, so it probably won't. So, yeah. So we're gonna take Mickey Mantle as our first round pick. What does Mickey Mantle want to get paid? I mean, I can't see it now, but I believe he'll just come to the team. So second overall pick, Mickey Mantle. Enjoys a good book, The Mick. Decent stealing rating, so he can probably get some steals in this early era, I would think. Good base runner. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the decision. We're going to kind of just go through. We might not do the full draft today because I want to get rated over to Baffle, because it is his birthday now in Mountain Time. And, yeah. Whales spending entire dollars to buy perfect points in the 1880s. Yeah. You can get your million perfect points for a whole dollar. From money you made from actual whaling. I think 1880s, was whaling going on in 1880s? I don't know. I don't know. If anyone wants to look up the history of whaling, you can be my guest and throw it on here. But I always assume it was like Moby Dick or something is from that time period, right? I don't know. maybe I'm getting too tired. Okay, so we're gonna go through and see who Cleveland picks. They chose Ken Williams, which I'm actually very surprised by. Very good player, 80 overall, which they probably see, but 33 years old. They're not going to get a lot of life out of him, I think. Who knows, actually, but I feel like OTP kind of kills players off around that age, so we'll see for them. Fort Wayne takes Babe Herman, which actually is an amazing pick. The defense isn't there, but yeah, Fort Wayne, that's a good pick. Auto draft for Washington, Chick Hafey. Very good pick, I think. Ben Sheets is our first pitcher off the board, and that's with that control. I think that's the only thing you kind of need in 1871. So, yeah, that's probably a good pick. Probably might be. I mean, Sheets might be the best pitcher on the board right now. We might have to actually get one. If we go by overall or control, maybe we could probably get by with one of these guys. Oh, Jamie Moyer at age 46. Yeah, 33 years old was probably like 55 years old. That's another thing I want to Google search though. Life expectancy in 1871. That's an AI answer. I don't want AI answer. So 1871. So 1870. The average life expectancy in the United States in 1870 was 39.41. And that lasted at least on Statista until 1880, 39.41 life expectancy. So, Ken Williams is expected to die in 6 years. That's a little dark, but I mean, Jamie Moyer is like the old man. Like, nobody's expected to live to 46 at this time. So that's you get things like that. Jeff Suppan, interesting pick here. Red Faber. Phil Hughes. So there's a lot of Cole Hamels at 30. Unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of these pitchers not even pitch. So Jamie Moyer is coming in at 46. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to have a full career in this league. But that it's funny. Like, no one's even close to Jamie Moyer in this. I mean, that's actually one thing that I wanted to look at. Seeing Billy Pierce, I don't think it's the same one. I need to see. Where was it? They might have taken it off and just have it off in general in here. But what we want to do. Okay, it's disabled by default. Good. D-Block, thanks for the follow. I'm upset with you that it's taken you this long to follow me. No, I'm not, but thanks for the follow. You will be my next shout out of the night. Let's see if this one works. Boom, it did. Make sure you go follow D Block. D Block, did you have a front page stream yesterday? I checked in a little bit, a couple times through in the day, playing some different things. I saw you were playing Fortnite. Um, I was super busy at work yesterday, unfortunately, but um, I believe. Did you have a front page Twitch stream yesterday? I saw you were online and you had like 1,000 people in the chat, so that was awesome. Nice. Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, that's technically, was that yesterday or 2 days ago now? It's 3.2K peak. Well, congratulations on that. Very happy for you. Um, I know you've kind of had to like change a lot of stuff up probably since like the affiliation situation and everything like that. And so getting that opportunity's awesome. So happy for you there. Um, you're usually streaming like right when I get into work, so I try to hop on and say hello and everything like that. But yeah, so if you're not following D Block, go follow him. Do you stream OOTP stuff still? I think you do. You were doing some PTCS stuff, but I don't know how often you do it. Non Sundays with D Block, yeah. Yeah, he's at Appalachian State now after a successful career at Virginia in college NCAA football. 25. So let's see what he can do with the Mountaineers over there. So yeah, I was going into this here. Um, I wanted to make sure that the color barrier was disabled. I think for the random debut, it starts um, disabled, but the regular one it might start enabled. I usually like to take it off to hopefully get some of the Negro League players into the game earlier when they couldn't, and just kind of hope. I mean, obviously not erase that part of history, but integrate that part of history more into the game. Um, so taking a break from it for 8 weeks. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, and then start fresh with OOTP 26. Should be a fun time. Um, yeah, I plan on continue. I'm excited because OOTP 25. I didn't like start off like doing a lot of following the Twitch, seeing all the first cards coming out, everything like that. OOTP 26 is going to be my first one that I kind of follow through the whole way. Um, I have not been a perfect team player ever before. 25 is my first year doing it, and we've had some success. It's been a lot of fun, so I do continue to plan, or I plan to continue to do that, and hopefully, um, get myself on a platform where people are coming in. They can get some packs from me if we're lucky to be able to get that at some point. Get some packs with me. Hopefully, I can help some people out, provide some entertaining stuff. I'll probably go more on the cam. It was mentioned earlier, but I think that's when it went down. I usually go on the camera, or I pull the camera up when I'm in the office streaming. Right now, I'm just on the couch streaming. A little bit more comfortable, and my office does not have a heat vent, so it takes a little bit for the little space heater to heat up my little office. Um, but it's usually like 40 degrees in there, so that was the decision to kind of just start streaming from here. So yeah, I mean we're talking a lot. Talking's fun. I like to follow the chat. My plan is eventually we'll get into like I want to make slides and stuff similar to some of the other streamers do, sort of talk about what we're doing, and then hopefully stay on a actual like stream schedule. I feel like I'm like, okay, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. And just go on mini tangents and everything like that. So we're gonna probably have some interesting things we talk about. I probably won't stream much longer tonight. I'm actually going over what I plan to do, but I do want to at least get through maybe the first 2 rounds, get 2 players on here, and then finish the draft maybe with a stream tomorrow or Friday. I guess today, I guess it is for the non-Pacific time, it is Thursday already, so that's the plan. Around 9-10 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll see how that goes. So we'll go through this first round, second round. I mean, there's only 9 teams, so it won't take too long. So the 7th pick, the Philadelphia Athletics take Bobby Thompson. Flying Scott, played from 1946 to 1960. A really solid player there. He comes in at 25-year-old, the Scottish player. Interesting pick here. I don't think it's a bad one. Pretty good defense, good personality, but the power I think will kind of get lost in the era. The 8th pick, Jack Tobin to New York. I think that's a very good pick based on the era. Defense is okay. Yeah. Al Bumbry surprisingly goes 9th. If he was available when I was up next, he was definitely the pick. But he goes to the Chicago White Stockings, who I believe become the White Sox. I used to know like who all those teams turned into over the years. Every single OTP version, I always start off a rewrite version. I start from 1871, and I kind of just go through each year and seeing like just rewrite baseball's history and everything like that. I was gonna do it on this. My plan was to. We still might do it one day, but we were gonna do one from 1871. I was gonna load some real pictures into the game and everything like that, and we're gonna just talk about players and the history of baseball. Um, that's still something we might do, and we could even do it with this, to be honest. Um, but I mean, most people that are going to be watching the stream knows a lot of these players, or at least have seen them in Perfect Team and stuff like this. There's a couple guys that I don't notice, like Homer Summa. We talked about him. If he's available, he might be my pick next, to be honest. Homer Summa, I don't know who he is. Bobby Laframboise, Pride of Downey, California. It's actually a pretty interesting name. La from Boise, for the Idaho people out there. Alan Sotheron. I haven't heard of him. Actually, when did La from Boise play? Did he really? I have never heard of this guy, but he played recently. Probably because he played on Seattle, those weirdos, and Pittsburgh, who, you know, irrelevant. But a lot of these guys, you know from Perfect Team, like Sid Gordon. I know him from Perfect Team. I didn't know him before. Chuck Smith, I've never heard of. Actually, I think I have heard of Chuck Smith. It sounds a bit familiar. I don't know what happened with him. I guess I could look it up at some point. But it looks like he was pretty solid for Florida, the Florida Marlins. I mean, he obviously declined after a year, but I don't know. Taffy Wright, perfect team guy. Reggie Sanders, not just from perfect team, but he's a long time recent sort of guy. Jim Dick. I don't know him, but he played from 1951 to 1956. Pride of Omaha, Nebraska. So yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, but there's a ton of guys that come in, you know their names, but you just build for this 1871 roster, and then in the next draft pool, obviously the reserve clause are on, so these guys you draft you're going to keep. They're not going to free agency or everything. You're going to have expansion drafts with new teams coming in, to some teams disappearing. It's just kind of be fun. And I thought that would be fun. Good little stream idea for a base game. So we're gonna kind of split it into doing this and some perfect team stuff, especially with some data that we're collecting. So I collect a lot of data. We do a lot on Google Sheets, but I've started to learn how to use Excel to do a lot of it too. So that's been fun. But Excel, it's easier. The way I learned how to do it, I watched Extaforus's video um, on modeling, his video Modeling 101. So that was interesting. So I learned how to do it that I don't want to get into the whole modeling sort of thing. I like to take the stats, look at those, and then choose the players based on that. I don't care, I don't care to know that Chuck Smith is the second best pitcher in the era and stuff like that. I I could probably do it if I wanted to, but I just don't feel like it's enough. I just feel it's a lot of work for a game, and I don't want the game to become less enjoyable by doing too much. But I like collecting data. I like looking at stats. I graduated with a statistics degree, so obviously I like stats, but I don't want to um, get too much away from the game aspect and enjoying it. So I like to include a little bit, but not too much. So Bunbury went, and now we start the second round. Chicago's going to get another player with Bunbury, and that will be Charlie Piano Legs Hickman. That's a good pick right there. I believe Charlie Hickman has a card in Perfect Team. Jimmy Barrett goes next. Real life, played from 1899 to 1908. Dead ball sort of guy. Yeah, this is center fielder right here. That's a great pick by the New York Mutuals. Philadelphia comes up. Mike Napoli. Mike Napoli. Mike Napoli was in. What was it? Was it the? I think it was the game Smiley Face Jane played on your channel franchise. Is that correct? I guess I didn't. There's a shout out. Franchise Time Machine. Always play some interesting games and does a lot of base game stuff. Um, just figuring out different things in the game. It's been really interesting to watch that play out and everything like that. So make sure you give Franchise Time Machine a follow and show him some love as well. The question I was asking was the game, I believe it was the other night you played with Smiley Face Jane. 2011 was the year Mike Napoli just kind of went off. He won MVP, right? Yeah, Napoli 2011. I think that sounds right. It it was your it was that game, right, where Mike Napoli just kind of, I think he had like a 9 WAR or something and 1 MVP. Yeah, yeah. So we get Mike Napoli. He's 31, which was his 2012 season. So you're getting pretty close, Mike Napoli, to that. So that should be an interesting pick. Not a great defender at catcher, but I don't think it matters here. Um, for those who don't know, actually, where is it? Is it Stats and AI? Yeah, Stats and AI. You can see based on the year you have, the historical year, which is 1871 in this case. You can import settings and choose a different year from 1871 to modern times, and the catcher framing impact will change based on the year you choose. So in 1871, 0. I don't think they used gloves in 1871. So they kind of just stood back as pitchers lobbed a ball over a plate, and there wasn't really framing going on. So you don't really need catcher defense in 1871. I don't know how that works in Perfect Team. My guess is it would go off these settings here. So if there, I mean, obviously there's no 1871 Perfect Team tournaments, but there was a PTCS that was 1939, and that one is catcher framing impact of 1 when you start a file with 1939. So my guess is the Perfect Team will follow these sort of things, which makes sense because you could have bunting all the way low, but people are still going to do it. And you have them bunting more often. Even if you sent your thing low, they're still going to bunt just because of the era. Ban infield shifts is interesting. I don't know. I don't want to change this up here, but potentially your infield shift settings don't matter. Like your shift settings don't matter at all based on the era, which would be interesting because I know a lot of people use high shifts in Perfect Team and in base game, but it might not. I mean, that you could be just doing that for nothing in this era because they're banned. I don't know how 1939 looks. We can look at a different time. I don't want to get out of this just yet, but that would be interesting to see how these settings play in the game and how they would translate over to Perfect Team. Like it's gonna very rarely use relievers or closers, so which makes sense. But if you have stealing bases very often, so even if you set a guy lower, they might steal more, hit and run. Infield shifts are banned. It's just kind of interesting to think about. We're going to finish our second round here, and then I'm going to go right over to Baffle. Robin Ventura went to Troy. Next pick is Washington, who chooses Chris Taylor, Mr. Utility guy over there. 26-year-old, a really good pick for them. Fort Wayne will now draft, and they will take Chuck Smith. Interesting pick here. I think he'll do okay, but the control is concerning in this era. Cleveland comes up next and takes Derek Lowe, which is unfortunate because I was thinking about taking him. And we are now on the clock. So my gut says take Randy Rosarena. The scouting director says Reggie Sanders, who makes sense, right? The power is definitely there. We took Mickey Mantle in the first round. Josh Donaldson, if he came in at a lower age, I think would have been gone already. George Brett, same situation. Um, this is a guy that we were looking at, Homer Summer. I don't know who he is, but he looks pretty good. Steve Evans. Sotheron doesn't look good for this era with a low control, but he's got a screwball, so that's pretty cool. LeMahieu's probably going to be decent in this era. Wallner's interesting, but honestly, as a Rays fan and Randy being a former, star player of the Tampa Bay Rays, we're going to take Randy Arozarena. Join him with Mickey Mantle. So that should be interesting. This is his age 23 season, which was spent in the minor leagues, right? I guess they don't have that in there. But yeah, that was when he was on St. Louis in the St. Louis Cardinals system. Came over to Tampa Bay, obviously, in 2020. Started just 13 games started, 7 home runs, and that's the year he hit. Was it 10 home runs in the playoff run, and just kind of exploded onto the scene for WAR in the next couple seasons. Obviously, got traded to Seattle recently. Didn't have his greatest season, which is why he was traded. But yeah, Randy will always be loved in Tampa Bay. Had a hold section in Tropicana Field. RIP for now for Tropicana, called Randy Land. So Rockford will now be up with the last pick in the second round, and they will take Reggie Sanders, who my fake scouting director, as we have scouting off, suggested. So that's our first 2 rounds. I was hoping to get through more tonight, but it was been interesting. We had the raid from Ezra Denny, which I really appreciate. We've had some people come in. We've had some chat. We've gotten some new followers. Ezra Denny, D Block, Danny D. Smith Jr., Pernelius, with a couple accounts there. Adding some follows today. We reached our follow goal of 50, which is a really awesome thing to see for this account as we continue to try and grow it. Continue to try to do some stuff in OOTP. Just kind of doing a lot. I want to have some more structured streams, and that's the plan going forward. As we stream more and do more stuff, my plan is to continue with this franchise mode. Our next one will be finishing. Our next stream will be finishing this draft, and then playing to playing out probably the first month of games. We'll play out 1 game and then quick sim the rest of the month, and then we'll see. Maybe we'll do the first half of the season each stream. I haven't decided yet on that. As far as the cam goes, I do have the cam on my laptop. I'm just on the couch and it's dark in here, so I don't really have the cam on right now. Plus, weird angles probably. I usually just do the cam when I'm in the office. I had mentioned it earlier. The office, I don't have any heat vents in the office, and I just have what's it called, the little space heater thing for my office. It works pretty well, but it does take a bit to warm it up. And it's about 40 degrees from what I can tell in the office when you first get in there. So the plan is to stream from the office more often, but today we're just kind of chilling on the couch doing an impromptu stream. Ended up working out. We got some viewers. Hopefully we did some interesting things, and we will like I said, we'll continue this franchise mode. The plan is, we'll save it now. the plan is to continue with this. Next time we'll finish the draft and then get into the first month or first half of the season, streaming one game and then quick simming the rest. I don't know what pace we'll go at. Um, and then we'll also get into some gold team building, I think. So PTCS gold team building. Probably like a gold only sort of thing to not have combinator talk. We might do some live gold stuff too, which I like to talk about. We do pretty. I've been lucky to do pretty well in live gold, but yeah. So I think that's the plan. We'll continue with this. We'll do some live gold building, or not live gold build. Well, maybe live gold building, but we'll do some overall gold team building to hopefully get in. I also kind of want to eventually. I know it's kind of stealing an idea, but I know Laptop Hound does some bounty tournaments eventually. My plan is to do some gold versions of that and hopefully get some people into the. Um, I've always said that the higher tiers are still accessible to a lot. Gold is really hard, it's very top heavy. Like, you need to sort of, if you want to crack into the top, you kind of need the commoners at this point, which is what I've done. Diamond, I think, is still accessible to a lot of people. You can get away with no combinators or a couple. I know Underdog's in the stream sometimes, and he's a guy in Diamond that I've enjoyed talking to and competing with. He's recently picked up some combinators, but generally he hasn't, and he does really well in Diamond. He's been the number one Diamond player before. A few months back, kind of went into a rut a little bit. But yeah. So Underdog's a really good Diamond player. We used to play Diamond. I won a PTCS with one combinator on my team. So I like, for anyone who's been in a laptop stream, obviously he teaches a lot about the lower level cards, the bronze mostly. But I like to kind of focus on the higher level cards, and there's a lot of cards that work, and they're just kind of a lot of people will stay away from the higher levels because they are more expensive. Golds have a minimum of 1,000, but there are a lot of avenues you can take. The gold only is non-combinator, so you get into that. I mean, one of the best pitchers is like Webster McDonald, and he's going for, I think, 6,000 right now, which is not bad at all. So yeah, that's the plan. That's what's going on with the cam. We're just kind of on the couch and not using the cam tonight, but the plan is we will probably use it. What happened to your cam franchise? Let's see. I'll probably do the 6L draft tomorrow at some point. And then we are still in gold only, so let's check that out before we go. Yeah, I know you've never had a cam. You still need a channel point redemption for franchise face reveal or something like that. I will work in getting those points, and we're down 2-0 and a best of 5 to Upper Arlington. I don't really know them much. They have 6 pitchers. I feel like this is not the best team that you could have, but sometimes you just lose, unfortunately. So gold only is not looking too good, but we're still awake, so we're going to be able to get into a new one. Underdog, who we mentioned, is in this one, currently losing 0-2 to Rhodes Sodas. We would actually be playing Road Sodas if we, or Underdog, if we could come back in this. Mark and MS, really good gold player. Definitely has a really good team here. Obviously non-combinator, so it's still up in the air, but always a tough out. Franchise, are you in this one? I'm pretty sure franchise is probably Mr. Met. No, franchise, you were in this one. Unfortunately, lost 3-2 to the what is it? The Millbrook Dam Busters Red Historian. I just got a yep. I got a phone notification before I saw that I was eliminated. So that was fun. We unfortunately got swept. So we swept Nottingham Scabs to get swept by Upper Arlington. So we did enough to. There's 64 teams, right? So we did enough to get 2 standard packs, which I'll take. Obviously, not super happy about, but yeah. Oh, did you play Oxford, Smiley? So we'll get into a new tournament. But yeah, I mentioned earlier I want to do some kind of bounty thing with golds. Sort of. I think that would be a fun idea, and I think it would be fun to kind of do some interesting tournaments. Are hard because I know like laptop has some fun perfect drafts and stuff, but I would love to just kind of have like a bounty system where you're throwing a team into this gold and hopefully running into a whole community of teams, but just like throw a I don't know. I don't know. The idea was kind of do some interesting thing, like maybe use one gold player and then the rest of your roster will be silver or something like that. I don't know. It's still a work in progress, but yeah, the idea is to come up with some sort of fun little bounty system using gold. We're gonna call it the Golden Gauntlet, and hopefully get some people interested in gold. Where I was not interested in gold before, and now we're just kind of all in. I'm gonna speak the love of gold and everything. So we have a tournament that we can choose to go into. I'm gonna go into the gold cap. So usually I go between these two, gold cap and gold only. I could wait tomorrow and then I think that's what I'll do. So for you people that do the gold only in here, um, don't give that option. What option are you talking about? Yeah, the gold cap could have those. I think those usually fill up really slow. So my plan, I think, will be to wait till tomorrow morning and enter late gold. Gold only filled up pretty fast, but I would love to try and use more of my combinators that we bought and paid for in order to try and chase this high diamond. Um, one gold and all silver. Yeah, it was just I was just spitballing a random idea. Um, but yeah, all the caps fill up super slow. I think they're fun. Our gold cap team is pretty good, I think. I'm still just randomly talking about stuff, but it's fun. I appreciate you guys being here and just sort of chatting with me. I don't get to do it too often, so mostly I just want to get some content out there, just sort of. Yeah, Gold Cap is an interesting one too because there's the combi limit, which limits my ability to do super well. But we got a lot of gold combinators on this team. We recently got the Yao in here, so I try to update these tournaments when we get um, the new cards. But this one's still a work in progress. I like how it is so far. Clark Griffith, not a great card for something that's a more modern era, but he is my favorite low gold card. He is the Ray Caldwell of low gold. To me, I love Clark Griffith, the old fox. Pitched from 1891 and 1914. Although, did he really pitch in these years? I don't know what happened with him. I need to look more up on Clark Griffith. I like him enough to probably look him up. Really good pitcher over the years, but yeah, he didn't even bat those years, so I don't even know what was going on with him. The reason I like Clark Griffith, like I said, I mean his versus left here, when he's fully combinated, even the versus right with his eye. But in low gold, there's no DH or anything, so you're getting this bat in your lineup. But versus lefties, in my gold cap, I actually use him as a DH versus lefties because he's got everything you want. He might not be the best, but he saves you a batter cap. So he's my DH versus lefties. So it's an interesting team. It's a work in progress still, probably, but I like it. I find it fun, and caps are fun. We have 2 golds in the bullpen, and then the rest are iron. And then our bench is pretty iron. We do have Herrera as a silver. I don't know. We'll see. It's an interesting team. Caps are. I don't think I made any changes, so we'll just discard. All right. So I appreciate everyone being here. I don't want to just keep rambling. Getting a little bit tired too. I want to raid over to Baffle. It is about to be his birthday, his time, in Pacific time, in about 10 minutes or so. So go into Baffle, wish him a happy birthday and everything. I will raid you over there and do the same. So thank you all for joining. I do plan on streaming a bit more over time. Wednesday nights too, I feel like are a good time for me. I play basketball from 8 to 9, so usually when I get back and ready and everything, I can stream, and I know Franchise doesn't, so it's a pretty good time slot for me to be able to do. So we're gonna have some more structure in the future, but I appreciate everyone coming in. Appreciate all the follows. Appreciate the raid from Ezra Denny, and yeah, let's keep doing this. And I hope you enjoyed it and have a great night. So let's get you rated over to Baffle. Like I said, wish him a happy birthday. Looks like he's still playing. I think he's in the championship game. All right, thanks, y'all. I'm going to raid you over there now.